The magic and mythology of the goat. The goat was one of the first animals domesticated by our ancient ancestors around 10,000 years ago in the Near East, and now there are both domestic and wild goats roaming the planet, and domesticated goats easily turn feral when they need to. There are currently around 924 million of them according to the UN. The goat is a member of the bovid family and a close relation of the sheep. Goats have long been used for transportation, milk, meat, fur, and of course cheese. The females are called nannies, the males are billies or bucks, and the young are kids. The male term of buck derives from the Old English word for goats, which was Bucca. The Bucca or puck is a well-known trickster sprite or spirit found in British and Irish folklore that takes on various animal forms, and the goat was a particular favourite. In Cornwall there are two types of Bucca, or perhaps the Bucca wears two faces. The white Bucca and the black Bucca, who are associated with the wind and the waves and may once have been an ancient Celtic god of the sea, as offerings were recorded as being made to him on sea and land right up until the 19th century. In ancient Greece, the god of the wild and of nature, Pan, is said to have had the hindquarters, legs and horns of a goat in the same manner as fawn, and to the Romans, Pan was known as Faunus because of this. Pan and the other old horned gods of Europe were later used and abused by the Catholic Church, who moulded their idea of Satan upon them, complete with horns, tail and cloven hooves. According to Norse legend, the god of agriculture, Thor, rode in a chariot pulled by two goats, called Tangrisnir and Tangnjostra, meaning thin teeth and teeth grinder, respectively. Thor is recorded as cooking and eating these two goats sometimes, but he always takes very great care to keep the bones whole and to lay them out as they would be in life. Then in the morning the goats always come back to life, so the goat is linked to the idea of sacrifice, sustenance and the cycle of life, death and rebirth. Thor's goats may be behind the Yule goat, one of the most ancient symbols of Yule and Christmas in Europe. Traditionally this was the goat that was slaughtered around Yule and eaten for the festivities. But there was also an invisible goat spirit that was said to visit people in the run-up to Yule, to make sure they were working hard and preparing things just right for the upcoming festival. The Yule goat has become a somewhat Santa-like figure who goes around door to door leaving presents. In Sweden, the last sheaf of corn harvested was made into the shape of a goat and called the Yule goat. This goat is credited with all sorts of magical powers, just as corn dollies are in the UK. In Western astrology, Capricorn, based on the constellation of Capricornus, is depicted as a sea goat. Capricorn is one of the earth signs, and Capricorns are said to be caring, practical and intelligent, just like goats. In Asia, the goat is one of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac, and is again an earth sign. Those born under the sign of the goat are apparently shy, mild-mannered, imaginative and determined, but they can be pessimistic and unrealistic. Goats symbolise sustenance and the idea of providing for others. Zeus was suckled by a she-goat in Greek legend, and in Norse lore the she-goat Hydron provided the milk that sustained Valhalla. There's also a belief that the goat provides sustenance for the newly born midwinter sun at and for a while after the midwinter solstice. Goats in myth and legend often represent lust, virility, fertility, and are often worked within spells for such. Because of their horns, which seem to reach up from their head towards the sky, they're linked with the sun, the moon, and the idea of those of us of the mortal realm reaching up and out towards our deities. Goats have also been linked to health and are often used as literal scapegoats. Farmers would keep goats along with other animals in the belief that the goat takes on any ailments from either the farmer or the family or from the other beasts onto itself. If a person fell sick, a goat would be encouraged to eat something as close to the sick person as possible and then driven away in the hope that they would take the illness away with them. As a result, seeing a goat on your travels was always considered a very lucky sign. So goats and goat products are often worked with in healing spells. Because the goat can pretty much roam anywhere, even up high, steep mountains thanks to its cloven hooves, the goat is often called on for spells involving travel, determination, and by those going through what feels like a very rough patch in life. The goat can help us to overcome obstacles and rough terrain physically, mentally and spiritually. Goats are sociable, curious and intelligent creatures who will eat just about anything. Like us, they get lonely and bored when alone, so always best kept at least in pairs for company. Goats are hard-working, but they also play and show clear affection. In this they remind us to both work hard and play hard, to make time for our loved ones and to truly show them just how much we care for them each and every day. As a spirit animal, the goat is very supportive and encouraging. As a ruminant, the goat teaches us to think things through carefully, to plan, contemplate and to always think before we act, especially when it comes to our magical work. The goat is the familiar of many Capricorns, those born in the year of the goat, and many people with creative souls or wild spirits. The creativity that the goat inspires is as wild as the wild goats and the wilderness in which they live. This is the wild, raw creativity of the soul that can turn up at any hour of the day or night and will drive you impassioned to see it through. As the goat has always been linked to the gods of the wild, of the land and the animals, call upon the goat to learn about your own wild self and the magic and mysteries that are inherent in the wild and natural world. After all, the goat is renowned for going feral, reverting back to its original wild nature. In modern magic, the goat is an animal of the element of earth, is ruled by the planet Saturn, but is also linked with the moon and especially the sun. The goat is associated with the time of Capricorn from December 22nd to January 19th, and in particular with the festival of Yule and the years of the goat in China, the next one of which is in 2027. What will you learn from the goat? Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.